Hello again, everybody. It is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got a good one on tap between the visiting Houston Texans and the Houston Oilers. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, much appreciated, Coach, as we welcome all of you to our exclusive coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Houston Texans and the Houston Oilers. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And, Charles, you take a look at our home side as we enter play here. They come in playing pretty good football. Winners of 4 of their last 6 games.
And if you look back to last week, it was all about their defense. Anytime you hold an NFL team to single digits, that's saying something.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Texans, it's late in the year. We all know it. We've seen the calendar for these guys. Their bodies could probably use a break, but they have to push on.
And they're really not as worried about that as maybe we think. They know they've got the entire offseason to rest. All they care about is the game in front of them and finishing strong.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. Orchestrating the offense will be a man who, of course, won a national title back in his days at Clemson, Deshaun Watson.
And it would be interesting to see pretty early in this one exactly where his head is, because the best quarterbacks shake off performances like he had last week. Way too many interceptions. Didn't throw a touchdown pass. Team lost the game. Let's see if he can bounce back and get things going in the right direction.
He'll be trying to forget those 3 picks, as you noted.
Down! Flag 22! Flag 22!
Now a play fake here on first down. Oh, he's going to take it. Trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Sidney Jones. And they will take over possession of the football at their 42-yard line. We think back to all the interceptions he threw last week. Here we go. First play of the game, another pick.
And you know that all week long, they spent time breaking down exactly why he threw the interceptions. Was it mechanics, bad reads, not enough study? Sometimes you just think about it way too much, and that leads you to the next one.
Time to refocus. Out comes this offensive unit as they get set to take over here. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10.
All right, here we go.
Looking to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave them trying to convert on 3rd and 9. They'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Texans scoop it. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Out now comes the Houston offense as you take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And for them right now, not a done deal. So they are holding down one of the final wild card spots. And with 2 weeks to go, there are others kind of nipping at their heels a bit.
And imagine what the talk has been all week within their locker room. And it's really, let's rely on ourselves. because they could get help and still get to the playoffs. But who wants that? Go out, win the game, take care of things.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Well, the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 6 yards on the pickup, and that'll force upon him a 3rd and 14.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. A shotgun snap for Watson. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. Give him 7 on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out of the backfield. Not quite as bad as a Turkey Bowl where you have that center-eligible stuff, but still a lot of guys to account for.
And his kick is indeed good. And it's now 3-0 Texans. So a good kick there, and they put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the 3.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
Hey, you're impressed, aren't you?
I am impressed. That means 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games. Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadruple. And that's where we are right now to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
All right, here we go.
Now a shotgun snap as they look to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a first down as well.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit. And that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
They'll look to throw here on first down. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. Jadeveon Clowney coming on the blitz. He gets him for a loss of 7.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Back to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a fourth down. And on now is the punter, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. He only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking.
DeAndre Hopkins, he's all alone. 30, 10, touchdown, Houston. DeAndre Hopkins, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Texans are able to show off their quick strike ability.
Partner, you know what the real key is to stopping a good passing attack?
You tell me.
Being able to tackle as soon as a guy catches the football.
Didn't work out there.
No, because when you give up the big run after catch, the rack yardage, that puts your defense in a big-time stressful position.
A lot of rack yardage and a touchdown there on the big play. Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead grows to 10-0. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is fielded at the goal line. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And things haven't started so well for this side. 2 drives, 2 punts.
So now you've got to start looking not just at play calling, but which guy's going to step forward and say, okay, let's get this thing done? Because within that unit of 11, sometimes one guy can make a big-time play and break through the barrier.
5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit, and find our way back into this game.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Now they try the right side here. And he'll lose yardage here. Going down back at the 28. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks. And when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
Able to fight through 1 tackle. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. And the Texans set to come onto the field. And following that long touchdown pass, a 1-play drive last time, to see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. I mean, that's what you worked on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense. Not get
under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes.
Got to give him points for the attempt, but there's just a wave of pressure there. A host of people in the area. Evades a few, but couldn't evade all of them.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Out of the gun, Watson. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
15 yards, the Texans pick up the first down. A pretty sizable deficit here in the first quarter. This defense probably need to get off the field in those situations on third down.
And you and I both know in this huddle before that last third down play, that's exactly what they talked about. Let's make a play. Let's get off the field. Let's reverse the momentum. Instead, they got hit with another first down, almost back to the drawing board.
Watson now already over 100 yards passing in just this first quarter. It's 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Green the line! Green the line!
On 2nd down, here's Watson. Buying time to his left. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. 23 yards on the tuck and run.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive.
Down! Back 22!
They'll run it now out of the gun. Down to the 30 after a gain of 3. And let's take a look at the Texans offense.
DeAndre Hopkins was named All-Pro for the first time in 2017 and really don't have to do much but look at the statistics to know why. 4 touchdown grabs in 2016, jumped that up to 13 in 2017. That led all NFL receivers. Also added in 96 catches and close to 1,400 yards. DeAndre Hopkins' ability to get free in the secondary is a marvel, mainly because of head fakes and body control.
8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Now a handoff looking right. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
And they'll run it here. And he'll get about 5 here, so he'll take this down inside the 20-yard line.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've hit the end of quarter 1. 10-zip our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. They're on the march, but facing a 3rd down here. Now Watson. Hopkins on the grab over the middle. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
They didn't get the first down, but I have to say I do like the call. I like what they were trying to do. Try and hit your receiver on the run and see if he can pick it up, keep it on his feet, get a little rack yardage.
Yeah, but a nice job defensively to get to him and keep him short of the first. And his kick is good. And that'll push the lead up to 13-0. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Now Corey Davis and the rest of his offense getting ready for their next drive. You better believe that he's well aware he has 0 catches right now, and they're losing, so he's probably a little hungry.
And you know the guys on defense are aware as well, and they're really excited that he has no catches, but they're also worried because a lot of times it's like the ticking time bomb. The longer you hold him down, when he finally explodes, look out.
Yeah, no catches, though, so far in this game. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Gun!
They'll run it now out of the gun. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much.
Hurry up, here we go.
They go play action here on first down. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. And they'll go with the ground attack here. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 4. Now 3rd down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. They'll drop to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Deshaun Watson of the Texans offense trot back out there. He's got the lead here in the 2nd quarter. He's thrown the touchdown, but also an interception. As a quarterback, is that interception, even though you're playing well, your team's got the lead, does that always stick in the back of your mind a little bit?
For the best ones, it just upsets them that they did that because they don't think there should be any blemishes on their record. They think that they're way better than that. So your confidence gets tested a little bit. Being able to go back out there, maybe throw another touchdown, that'll tamp that down in a big way.
Yeah, like I said, he's looked pretty good to this point. Justin Reed, the safety, made the tackle.
When we see those runs to the perimeter, when we see those runs to the edge, we think about big breakers, don't we? In this case, it was a modest gain, but it does open up possibilities here on 2nd down.
Down. Green, down.
Now they try the right side here. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the play, as we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to throw one over his head as this game progresses.
From the gun on 3rd, Watson. Going right side here, and that's complete. And they're able to get this one across the 35. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
On first down, Watson. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice game right there on first down for them. Brings up a nice second.
Well, he'll be wrapped up around the waist and pushed down.
They were in the top 5 in sacks in the league coming into this one. That's their third one in this game. Obviously, pass rush has been a strength of this team all year long.
And apparently they're not satisfied with top 5. They want to climb that ladder.
Yeah, I think it goes back to their offseason. They decided to make it a priority, and it's working out.
The Texans on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. From the gun, here's Watson. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. And he is out of bounds on the other side of midfield. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a first down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Back-to-back nice gains. That one for 14 yards and another first.
But we just saw him run the football really effectively there with 3 tight ends in the game. And any defensive coordinator, when they see that set, if they can get more bodies out onto the field, not more than 11, of course, but bigger bodies to combat what they're going to do, because that's a run-heavy formation. Those guys are out there to block 9 times out of 10, and in this case, they did it really successfully.
Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Watson in the offense going to come up 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. And on the ground they go with a running back. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
What an advantage having a elite guy in the middle of the defensive line, because not only does he take up the space and let the linebackers run free, but he can also make plays himself, as we just saw there.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 14-yard line.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
The Texans on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Now Watson from the gun, he'll throw. And probably the wise decision there. No one open, he just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down.
Well, that was excellent coverage right there, and he definitely did the right thing, showing that discretion is definitely the better part of valor. Threw it away, preserved the opportunity to kick for a field goal.
And excellent coverage. And right now the human is controlling the defense, so good job, human. A dozen plays on that drive that ends with the field goal.
Let's go ahead and break out some of the old chestnuts here, right, partner? Keep the ball in front, rally to it, and make the tackle. Right? No big plays given up, no balls over your head. Bend, don't break.
Hold on. Chestnuts?
You like
Come
that
on.
one?
What does that mean, break out? That just because you break chestnuts?
I'm not sure about that, but I'm just going with why they said that. I have no idea.
There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. They haven't been able to get him on track. They haven't been able to get this offense on track. No points so far.
Maybe it's time to start doing a few different things. Throwing the ball a little bit, maybe featuring other people touching it for a while, and then you get a chance to come back to him. When things have changed a little bit, they have to make an adjustment.
There's still time for him here as we sit in the second quarter. Found a little room there as he's up to about the 37. Andre Howell, the one to bring him down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
Here we go.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. He's going to air one out. And both guys were there, but it falls incomplete.
And attempted a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. Out of the gun now on third down. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. Deshaun Watson and the Texans offense trot back out there. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because, as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. And they'll go ground game here with the tailback. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
On 1st and 10, Watson under pressure now. Watson, and down he goes. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to Houston after this timeout. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Here's Watson, operating from the gun. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of work.
Now it's Watson. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Good gains there back-to-back for Houston in the passing game and another 1st down.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a 1st down.
Watson on 1st down. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Wide open receiver, complete. And now before this 1st down play, we're going to get a timeout here. As the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. Watson now over 200 yards already in this first half. It's 1st and 10. Watson looks to throw again. Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. Picked by Kevin Byard. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. You don't see this often. A quarterback of his caliber, 2 first-half interceptions.
It's absolutely surprising because it happens so rarely. You're searching for what reason, what's going on out there. It's not just maybe the defense is playing well. Is his horoscope off? His biorhythms? What is it?
You went horoscope on us, David.
Well, I was thinking maybe REM sleep was off. I'm trying to come up with something.
Anything, right? Now Corey Davis and the rest of his offense getting ready for their next drive. Hasn't had his best day to this point here in the second quarter, and they're losing. You got to think, though, that also means that maybe the defense doing a good job on him. There's 2 sides to that coin.
I would agree, so you have to give them credit.
He rifles one that's intercepted. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu, and he'll bring it back to about the 5-yard line. Well, they were obviously backed up, had a little bit of space from the goal line, snapping it from the 3, but still trying to throw it, and...
Yeah, exactly. If this were hindsight as 2020 comes into play, right? Seems like a good idea to throw the ball there. Maybe you'll surprise them and catch them off guard. Instead, you've created a turnover and put your defense in a bad spot.
3 red zone trips have yielded just 2 field goals for them to this point, so they'll be searching for something more on 2nd and goal here.
Green the line! Green the line!
After the interception, here's Watson. The quick slant caught. Now before the second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. From the 2 now, 2nd and goal.
Green the line! Green the line!
Operating from the gun, Watson. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins with his 2nd touchdown here in this first half. And the Texans will extend their lead.
I heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He said those could be the ones that could finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. Extra point right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. In second quarter, they're down big already. He's struggling as well. They've got to find something here. He's got to find something on this drive.
And sometimes you take on all that extra pressure on yourself, and maybe you have to disperse it a little bit. Lean on some other people, lean on your teammates, find someone who can take the pressure off and get the ball in their hands for a while.
Or this, if he doesn't, this is getting out of hand, or it could get worse.
All right, here we go.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Caught out left side by Robinson. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the second quarter. And we are back here. I'm Brandon Gaunt alongside Charles Davis. So the offense takes a timeout. And now we're set to get going. The offense on 3rd down, not good. 0 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. They'll throw now on the final play. And some space here. And he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. We now proceed to the start of the second half. So we have reached halftime here. It's the visitors, the Texans, out in front. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the third quarter. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Out now comes the Houston offense as you take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
He's got daylight, the 40. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. A huge play there for Houston. 48 yards.
As we continue to advance in the NFL, as people continue to scout players, they really don't care as much about body types as they care about those guys who can make people miss, run through tackles, and gain all that additional run after catch. Anybody has that ability, they want them on their team.
They'll look to throw now on first down. And Davis with it left side. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. A gain of 6 there on first.
When you decide to run a hitch route, it really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
Here we go now. 3-19.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a 1st and goal. I don't know what they talked about at halftime. Whatever it was, it worked. They look like a different team here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, I doubt that there are very many trash cans that got kicked over that type of a speech. I think what they did was they analyzed what worked in the first half, what didn't, and figured out a better game plan.
All right, here we go. Blue line it. Blue line.
Again, he'll drop to throw. That's complete right around the 8. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Well, this is how you shape the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it.
And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. It's the fullback, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And his guys are able to close that gap just a bit. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the 3rd quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
Now back to throw. And they're going to get the 2-point conversion, caught in the end zone. And that cuts the lead a bit further. And around the goal line, especially on 2-point tries, sometimes the QB's best friend is that big target, the tight end.
I love how you described it because you know he's going to have some length and some catch radius as well as a big body to keep people away from the football.
Now here's Suckup out to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here's the Texans offense now. They get set to start this 3rd quarter. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Hopkins. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, You really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Now a play fake here on first down. Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And he takes this one all the way across midfield into enemy territory down to the 40-yard line. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him.
And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked up by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So now he's equaled his interception total from a week ago. Remember, Charles, he had 3 last week.
And you know, all week long he vowed to take that number down. Told the guys on the team, don't worry, things are going to pick up. I got this. But he is in a major league rut right now. Let's see if his teammates can pick him up along the way.
You're right. He talked about being cool, calm, collective, rebounding. Not rebounding right here. Now this offense ready to head back out there. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
Hurry up, here we go.
Now a handoff looking right. What a spin. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. And they're able to get this one across the 35. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. This quarterback now, 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10.
Hurry up, here we go.
They're going to look to throw. And Davis has it over the middle. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Here we go now.
He'll drop to throw. And incomplete here on 3rd down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
And this will be taken at the 13. Great blocking on the return. It springs him for 25. And possession will switch hands. 1st and 10. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, if like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
It's still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
They'll run it now out of the gun. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Touchdown, Houston. A big play there with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Texans will add on to their lead.
When we draw up defenses on the board, we do account for every receiver. But on that particular play, somehow he was wide open, became an easy touchdown pass.
Extra point attempt here still to come. Extra point splits the uprights, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. They'll bring it back to just about the 25, call it the 24-yard line. And now back out comes the offense. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Steps away to his left. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Maybe a little frustration starting to creep in. The offensive line hasn't done a great job of protecting him in this game, and there he was, hit again as he threw it.
Yeah, another time on his backside, probably starting to get a little frustrated.
Got to keep his composure. Can't let the defense know that they're getting to him.
And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off at the 25. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
Watson off play action. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Here's Watson. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal.
When an offense reads blitz, doesn't matter where it's coming from, tight ends know that they become a big part of the passing game because they should be an easy outlet when all those extra bodies are trying to get to the quarterback. A hot route, so to speak.
Out of the gun, Watson. That is caught at the 7-yard line. And he'll get this down inside the 5 to the 4 before he's out of bounds. Nice job defensively to hold him to 4, and now it's 2nd and goal.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
To the air yet again, Watson. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. Deshaun Watson, 4 touchdown passes now in the ball game. And the Texans use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. And it was a tight window. He knew he had to rocket that thing in there. He got it done.
And when you're able to complete one like that, your confidence has to just go sky high. You just mentioned it. Tight window, zings it in there despite excellent coverage. Result, touchdown.
Point after, right down the middle. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. So that drive, 4 plays. And it results in the Texans finding the end zone. Fielded about a yard deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And here now the offense heading back out there. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up.
Yeah.
Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
I mean, you think you might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
And they're left looking at 3rd and 8 after the 2nd down pass play only went for 2. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. He's going to fire this thing deep right sideline. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now.
So this is what happens when you throw interceptions. That confident veneer that you have gets chipped away a little bit. Maybe a little bit gun-shy throwing it around.
Yeah, under-throwing him there, and you're right. Those interceptions may be in the back of his mind. Can get the punt away, whistles as we've come to the end of the 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
You're not you when you're losing. Snickers satisfies.
A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll lose yardage here. Back to the 15. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
But Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football. But they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, this is my theme of Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against the zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. Fielded at the 20. A good return there, call it 13 yards. Out now comes the Houston offense as you take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut it. All right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
So they had the big loss on that first down pass play and facing a 2nd and long.
We got three, fellas. Now let's go.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. And this offense on 3rd down today, it has been a disaster. 0 for 8 thus far. This is 3rd and 14.
All right, here we go.
He'll look to throw. They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. And they pick up 25 as they convert on 3rd. They'll look to throw. And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. And a quick slant gets exactly 10, and by the nose of the football, they've got a first down. Back to throw here. And his throw is incomplete. The linebacker, Zach Cunningham, there defensively to make that play. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
Back 99 Philly, here we go. Set. 3, 9, 10.
They'll drop to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Looking to throw. It's a short one here. Complete to the tight end. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. A gain of 13 and also a first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to...
And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. A great effort there. His 6th touchdown of the season. And his guys are able to cut into that deficit. Sometimes a group that gets overlooked, certainly, the offensive line. Right there, they really helped with that score.
Didn't they tell us in our meeting that when we score touchdowns running the ball, that means the offensive line actually scored first by moving people back beyond the end zone? We saw evidence of that on that play.
Extra point up and good by Succa. And that'll cut the lead down now to 22. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And the effort snuffed out. The Texans' hands team recovers. fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Here's Watson now on second down. And that one almost intercepted. Far too loose with the football here. Nearly a fourth pick. And it's third down.
Trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown, and frankly, that should have been another pick right there. And certainly some style points there on the spin. Not a whole lot thereafter, but still a pretty good game. And there will be a break in the action here. They're going to take a timeout. That's going to be their second. They'll be left with one more plus the 2-minute warning, and we'll be back. And this one is right through. And that'll extend this lead now up to 25. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Out now comes the Houston offense as you take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. And they'll go on the ground. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third. This offense so far on third down, just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. This is 3rd and 11.
All right, here we go.
They'll set up a throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it'll be 4th down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. We'll call that a 47-yard punt, a return of just 3. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. The outcome of this one, well, we know who's going to win it. It's just all window dressing at this point. Got me thinking, what's the biggest blowout that you've been a part of as a player, broadcaster?
Well, I'm not going to go to the player part because when I think blowout...
Because you won every game as a player.
No. I think about being blown out. And no one wants to go back to those memories. But, when I was calling college football, I saw a game that, a team put 70. I actually saw it happen twice. A team put 70 on their opponent. And in the NFL, in the 2017 season, I saw one of those changing of the guard games where a team that hadn't been very good before now is dominating and kicking around a team who have been ruling their division.
And that's when you earn your paycheck, right? As the analyst, you got to fill that time.
You've got to know what's going on out there and how it all happened.
Well, obviously, that begs the question, what game was it?
That was Seattle hosting Los Angeles, the Rams.
Yeah.
Their second meeting of the season, and the Rams turned it around from their first one and blew out the Seahawks.
The Texans on third down. They've hit on half of them, 5 for 10. This will be 3rd and 5. From the gun, here's Watson toward the sideline. He will have the first down. Good catch. He was able to keep the feet in bounds. He's been big. 2 touchdowns earlier. Now he's got a first down here. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
And they'll run it here. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Now they try the right side here. And he'll be taken down after a short gain as that takes us to the 2-minute warning. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this.
Down. Green the line. Green the line.
On third down, that's Shepard. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
I definitely like the play call. You don't expect it on 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, do you? You expect a pass play. Had a little courage there to call the run, and boy, they were successful.
Now a handoff working right. And he's got some space here. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
I know you're trying to wring every yard out of a run, but I think 9 yards there is ideal in this situation.
Yeah, now next couple plays, you only need 1 yard. Keep that clock rolling with a lead here in the 4th.
Yeah, and what you're saying is maybe if it takes you 1 or 2 more runs to get the first down, that's extra time, extra plays. Really hurts the team on defense.
Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. But I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Texans, the win is number 9 for them on the year. And they will head home next week to take on the New York Jets. Meanwhile, for the home team here, they dropped their 7th game on the year. And they will be at home next week to take on the Miami Dolphins. So for our entire crew, alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.